Hey developers, welcome back to Pure Code Tech, where we turn complex code into simple and pure understanding. If you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell icon so that you can never miss any episode. In our previous video, we successfully installed Laravel. Today, we are taking the next big step of understanding what's really inside a Laravel project. When you first open a fresh Laravel project, it looks intimidating. The dozens of folders, the files, but once you understand how they work together, everything in Laravel starts to make sense. So let's take a calm tour through the folder structure of Laravel, understand what each folder does, and see how everything connects to build a real web application or your web applications. Alright, here is the root of every Laravel project. Let's go step by step. App. This is where most of our application logic lives. Inside the app folder, you'll find subfolders like HTTP, models, providers. HTTP contains the controllers, middlewares. This handles all the incoming requests. The model, each model represents a table in your database. For example, here we have user.php. So this corresponds to the user's table. Providers, providers contain services. So service providers that register classes and bindings into the Laravel service container. So think of app folder as the engine of your Laravel application. This is where Laravel goes most of its thinking. So this is where you're going to put most of your thinking. Then bootstrap. This folder initializes the framework. You won't usually modify it, but it's where Laravel's boot process begins. The cat subfolder here stores performance-rated files that help your app load faster. Config. This folder contains all configuration files, so everything from the database credentials to mail setting and caching. For example, uh, the config, the logging, and everything. So whenever I want to adjust how Laravel behaves, like changing the default time zone or enabling debugging, this is where you go. Then another folder here called database. Database folder is about data. Inside it, you find three main parts: the factories, the migrations, and the seeders. Migrations define new database tables in code. Migrations. Seeders, seeders add dummy data automatically for testing. Then migrations. Oh, we're done with migrations. Seeders factories. Factories quickly generate fake data for development. So Laravel migrations act like version control of your database. Every change is tracked, reversible, and organized. So that's what you find in database folder. So we shall look also more of how to use it while working on our project. Public. This is the only folder accessible from the web. It contains the main index.php file that boots your Laravel app. So if this file is missing, your Laravel app will not boot or start. So all the images, compiled CSS and JavaScript files also live inside here. When you deploy your app online, this is the folder that your domain points to, the public folder. Alright, we can look at the resources. The resources, here is where your app's front end lives. It contains CSS, JS, and the views. So the views, which are the blade templates, here is where your HTML with Laravel syntax goes. Then the JS and the CSS, your app styles and scripts. They are found inside the resources. From the resources, we can talk about the routes. The routes folder tells Laravel which page or controller to show when someone visits a certain URL. You will mainly work with web.php for web routes and api.php for API endpoints. So this means when a user visits your homepage, like slash, which is the homepage, Laravel loads the welcome.blade.php. So this is a view called welcome. We say that views are found under resources, views. We have a view called welcome.blade.php. So this route, this particular piece of code navigates to the home page, and in the home page they will load a view called welcome found in the resources views welcome.blade.php. The other folder that you can talk about is storage. Storage folder handles all your logs, caches, and uploaded folder. So here you will find the app framework logs. We shall not dive more into them. Then you have the tests. So the tests, this folder is for writing automated tests to make sure your application works as expected. So you can run your tests using the PHP artisan test command. So we shall look at it. Lastly, the vendor. The vendor folder contains the packages and dependencies installed via the composer. So you rarely touch this folder directly, but it's what makes Laravel so powerful. It includes everything that Laravel needs. So we've discussed about the folder structure, and in that, the app is the brain of your Laravel app. The resources is the face. The routes, that is the direction. The public is the gate. The database is the memory. So once you understand this, Laravel stops being a mystery and starts feeling like you're at home. Now, after looking at the folder structure, let's look at routing basics. Routing. So routing is how Laravel decides what to show when a user visits a certain URL. By default, this is where you get it. So you go to routes and it has open the web.php. So this means when someone visits the slash, which is the home page, they are returning a view called welcome. Remember, we said that this view is found under resources, views, welcome.blade.php. You don't need to add the .blade.php, so Laravel does it automatically. So Laravel will return a view called welcome.blade. In that case, let us visit it and we see. So when come here, open our terminal, new terminal, and we run this Laravel app. So PHP artisan serve. Press enter. So when we press enter. So when you press enter, you have this. So hold Ctrl and click on the link. They will open this. So this is what we have. So this is the home page. This is the home page. It is loading what they call the welcome.blade page. Remember last time we had made some changes. This is our first Laravel app. In that case, we are able to see that view because of the routes. Routes direct you to certain URL. So let's try and we create our own. Let's try and create our own. So it shall say route get is a method. It is a static function. Sorry, get is a static function that is used to return something. You're going to return something. In this case, let us try something easy. Hello, hello, and we are going to write a function, and in this function, we shall return not a view but return. Let us say hello, hello. So hello, I'm Laravel. So we have this. If I come back to our browser and say slash, we give it a name slash hello. So come back to our browser, say slash hello. We are going to have this hello, I'm Laravel. So whenever I visit slash, Laravel displays that message directly in our route. So that was for the case of returning just a string of hello, I'm Laravel. But if you want to return a view, instead of returning this, you return a view. So let us try one. So route get, and in that case we're going to return slash about comma function. In that case we're going to return a view. We're going to return a view. So first we shall go to our views in the resources and create a new another one called about blade.php. About.blade. So in our web, we are returning a view called about. So we are returning a view called about. So this is our about page. Shall put in some HTML and say put a heading 1. This is the about page. If I save, we say that when we write slash about in our browser, so we come back to our browser and write slash about. So slash about is returning the about page, which is this is the about page. In that case, whenever you visit slash about, you see the about page. So Laravel responds dynamically with the name we provide. However, for better organization, we use controllers instead of anonymous functions. Anonymous functions are those functions without names. So all these were anonymous functions. Let me just comment them out. And if you comment them out and I refresh here, they will tell me that that view is not found. So it is not found. That view doesn't exist because I've commented out the routing. So whenever you create a page, you must create a controller for it. In that case, we can create a controller for the about. PHP, artisan, make, semicolon, controller, and the controller name, about, controller. About, controller. Remember, a controller will be a class, so you write with capital letter, uppercase letter. Press enter. After pressing enter, if we come back to our app, HTTP controllers, we have a controller called about controller. So this is the controller that we have. We want to use our controller to return the view. In that case, we create a function, public function, give it a name, about. So this function is now going to return our view that is called about. So we terminate. After having that, come back to our routes and we write a route we get. So this get is a static function, so get slash about, and now we point to the controller that has the function for returning. So our controller that has that function is called the about controller. So point to it as an array. So our controller is called about controller. So about controller, we access a class and then we access our function. So our function name is, when we come back here, it's called about. So I write about and terminate. So this is the route that you can use now. See, we have this and then it imported use app http controller stroke about controller. So in that case, if we come back to our browser, I can even just refresh this. Now the about us page, the about page is working. This is the about page. So today we've taken a complete tour about how to define your own routes